Good morning, students. Welcome back to computer class. So today we are moving on to a new chapter number 7. Okay, an introduction to access. Chapter name is an introduction to access. Okay, so in this chapter we will be mainly studying about database management system. We know that in earlier days computers they were used for mathematical calculations, and at that time there was no technology for permanently storing huge amount of data. But in this new age of computing we know that we use computers in order to store large amount of data. For example, data can be a list of employees that are working in a company, or it could be the number of students that are studying in a school or a college. Okay, or it could be a online reservation system that we use in railways. Okay, data can be any type of list, and we know that such type of list they consist of huge amount of data, and this data they cannot be handwritten in any notebooks anymore. And that is why computers they are used for storing huge amount of data nowadays. And for storing huge amount of data, computer uses database management system. Okay, and in this chapter we will be studying about this database management system, how database management system they are being used for storing huge amount of data. Okay, this is what we are going to study in this chapter. So students, we have seen that since we cannot write such a large amount of data in a notebook, we use computers nowadays in order to store large amount of data. Okay, and for storing this large amount of data, computer uses database management system. Okay, so one of the specialty of storing data in database management system is that the data is being organized in such a way that it is easy to access, manage as well as update this data. And now let us see the definition for a database. A database is an organized collection of data. Okay, a database means it is an organized collection of data, and we know that managing such a large amount of data manually it is a difficult task. So we use a computerized record system. Okay, and we have studied that the data that is present inside a database, it has been organized in such a way that it is easy to access, manage and update this data. Okay, and in order to access and analyze the data which are present inside a database, we use a database management system. Okay, so once again, in order to access or analyze the data that are present inside a database, we use a database management system. Now look at the definition for database management system, or DBMS. It is an application software that is used for storing, organizing and retrieving data from a database. Okay, the definition for DBMS is it is an application software that is used for storing, organizing and retrieving data from a database. And database management system, it acts as an interface between us users and a database. Okay, database management system, it acts as an interface between users and a database. Okay, so in this section we studied three definitions. First, we studied what we mean by a database. A database is said to be an organized collection of data. Okay, and we know that storing such a large amount of data manually, it is a difficult task, and that is why we use computers in order for storing large amount of data. Okay, and then we have studied that in order to access and analyze the data which are present in a database, we use a database management system. Okay, and what is the definition for database management system? It is an application software that is being used for storing, organizing and retrieving data from a database. And at last we have seen that a database management system, or DBMS, it acts as the interface between users and a database. Okay, so these are the three definitions that we studied now. First, we studied what you mean by a database. Then we studied what you mean by a database management system. Okay, and at last we have studied that a DBMS, it acts as an interface between users and a database. So till now we have seen what you mean by a database, what you mean by DBMS. Okay, and now let us see what are the advantages of using this database management system. Okay, there are certain advantages of using DBMS. First advantage is it eliminates the problem of duplicate record. Okay, second advantage is it eliminates data redundancy. What do you mean by data redundancy? That is, we cannot hold the same data in two places. Okay, we can hold or we can save only one data at only one place. That same data cannot be saved over any other place. Okay, that is what we mean by data redundancy. Okay, we can hold or we can save the data of one type only at one place. Okay, same data cannot be saved or stored over another place. Third advantage is it ensures data consistency. What do you mean by data consistency? That is, we can save only the appropriate data. Okay, or we can enter only the correct data. That is what we mean by data consistency. And fourth advantage is it allows sharing of data by authorized users. Okay, and last advantage is it is a cost-effective method of developing and storing data. Okay, so these are the different advantages of using DBMS. First one is it eliminates the problem of duplicate record. Second advantage is it eliminates data redundancy, which means that we can hold only the same data only at one place. It cannot be stored in another place. Okay, the same data, they cannot be stored in two different places. And third point is it ensures data consistency, which means that only correct data can be entered. Okay, and fourth point is it allows sharing of data by authorized users. And last point is it is a cost-effective method. Okay, so these are the different advantages of using DBMS. Okay, moving on to the next topic, let us study what we mean by database object. Whatever data is present inside a database, they are organized in the form of tables. Okay, and a single database file, it can contain one or more tables. Okay, first thing that we have to study is that whatever data is present inside a database, it is being organized in the form of tables. Okay, if you are taking a single database file, you can see that it can contain one or more table. Now look at the definition for a table. A table means it is the basic building block of a database. Okay, the definition for table is it is the basic building block of a database. And the data inside a database, it is being in the form of rows and columns. Okay, whatever data is present inside the database, they are organized in the form of rows and columns. All of you familiar with how a spreadsheet look like? Okay, and data inside a spreadsheet, they are in the form of rows and columns. Similarly, inside a database, the data, they are present in the form of rows and columns. Once again, whatever data it is present inside a database, they are organized in the form of tables. Okay, and table, it is said to be the basic building block of a database, and it contains data in the form of rows and columns. Now let us see an example for a database. And what you see in this picture, it is an example for database, and you can see that data inside this database, it is being present or it is organized in the form of table. Okay, and a table, it consists of rows and columns. And what are the data which are present inside this database? It consists of name, address of different people and their particular telephone number. Okay, and this data, they are being organized in the form of tables. Okay, and a table, they consist of rows and columns. A column in a particular table is said to be a field, and a row in a table is said to be a record. Okay, a column in a table is said to be a field, and a row in a table is said to be a record. So students, what do you mean by field and record? A column in a table is said to be a field. And what do you mean by record? A row in a table is said to be a record. The application that we used for working with the DBMS is known as Microsoft Access 2010. Okay, the application that has been used for working through DBMS, it is known as Microsoft Access 2010. And now let us study how to start Microsoft Access 2010. In order to start Microsoft Access 2010, first you have to click on Start button. Okay, then you have to click on All Programs. And then you have to click on Microsoft Office. And the application Microsoft Access 2010 will appear. You have to click on that application Microsoft Access 2010. Okay, then the Microsoft Access 2010 window will open. And this is how Microsoft Access 2010 window appears like. Okay, first you have to create a blank database. For that, see, the first option is being given for creating a blank database. You have to click on the option blank database, and then you have to click on create button. Now by default, a blank database is being created. And now a Microsoft Access window with a blank database and with an empty table appears like what you see in this picture. Okay, this is how Microsoft Access window appears like. You can see a blank database with empty table is being present over this picture. This is how Microsoft Access window appears like. And now you can see there are many components which are present inside this Microsoft Access window. And now let us study in detail about this different components of this Access window. Which are the components that are present in this Access window? File tab, Quick Access toolbar, title bar, ribbon, status bar, navigation pane, record navigation bar. These are some of the components that are present in Microsoft Access window. And now let us study in detail about these different components. The first component of Access window that we are going to study is title bar. Okay, all of you are familiar with what we mean by title bar. Title bar, it is present at the top of the Microsoft Access window, and it is being used for displaying the name of the application as well as the file name of the current database. Okay, so once again, title bar, it is present at the top of the Microsoft Access window, and it displays the name of the application as well as the file name of the current database. Okay, so title bar is the first component. Second component is Quick Access toolbar. It is used for displaying the save, undo and redo buttons. Okay, and if you want to add more commands, you can click the drop down arrow that has been present over here. Okay, so second component is Quick Access toolbar, and it is used for displaying the save, undo and redo button. And if you want to add more commands, you have to click the drop down arrow which has been present at the end of this Quick Access toolbar. Third component is ribbon. Ribbon is present below the title bar, and it has got a set of tabs. Each tab, they will display some commands which are organized in the form of groups. Okay, so the third group is, or third component is ribbon. Ribbon, it is present below the title bar, and it has got a set of tabs like what you see in this picture. Okay, each tab, it is being used for displaying some commands which are organized in the form of groups. Okay, now moving on to the fourth component of Access window, it is navigation pane. See the arrow what has been pointed over this picture. This is what we mean by navigation pane. It is present over the left side, and it displays a list of objects in your current database. Okay, so the fourth component is navigation pane. It is present on the left side of the window and it displays the list of all the objects that are present in your current database. And the last component is status bar. Status bar, it is present at the bottom of the Access window and it is used for displaying the current view of the active database. Okay, so the last component is status bar. Status bar, it is present at the bottom of the Access window and it is used for displaying the current view of the active database. Okay, so students, these are the different components of Access window. First one is title bar, second one is quick access toolbar, third one is ribbon, fourth one is navigation pane, and last one is status bar. Okay, these are the different components of Access window. Moving on to the next topic, let us study different data types which are used in Microsoft Access. Okay, you can use Microsoft Access in order to store different types of data in a table, and this data type, they can vary according to the fields that are present in a table. Okay, so now let us see the various data types and their uses. First data type is text. It is used for storing text or numbers, for example mobile numbers. Second one is memo. It is used for storing lengthy text and numbers, for example notes, long descriptions, etc. Okay, third one is number. It is used for storing numbers which require calculations. And next one is date or time. It is used for storing the date and time. Next one is currency. It is used for storing values which involve money. Okay, and last one is yes or no. It is being used when there is only two possible answers. Either it can be a yes or it can be a no. Okay, and last one is hyperlink. It is used for storing the address of a website or email. Okay, so these are the different data types which come under Microsoft Access. First one is text, which is used for storing text or numbers, for example mobile numbers. Second one is memo. It is used for storing lengthy text and numbers, for example notes, lengthy descriptions, etc. Okay, third one is number. It is used for storing numbers that require calculations. And next comes date and time. It is used for storing the date and time. And next one is currency. It is used for storing values that involve money. Okay, and second last one is yes or no. It is being used when there are only two possible answers. It could be a yes or it could be a no. And last one is hyperlink. It is used for storing the address of a website or email. Okay, so students, these are the different data types which come under Microsoft Access. So students, till now we have seen how to start Microsoft Access 2010, which are the components of the Access window, which are the different data types used in Microsoft Access. And now let us see how to create a new database. Okay, so in order to create a new database, you have to follow some steps. Step number 1, click on File tab. Step number 2, click on the New option. Okay, step number 3, click on the blank database option which is present under Available Templates. Okay, and step number 4, on the right side under the blank database, see there is an option given for typing the name in the file name box. You have to type a name in that file name box. Okay, and step number 5, you have to click on the Create button. Okay, so once again, step number 1, you have to click on the File tab, then you have to click on the New option, and third step is you have to click on the blank database option. Okay, and step number 4, the right side under the blank database, there is a box given for entering the file name. You have to type a name for your database. Okay, and at last you have to click on the Create button. Okay, so these are the steps for creating a new database. So by following these steps, now a new database with a table named table1 has been created. Okay, and by default Microsoft Access will create an ID field in the table. Okay, ID field is been automatically been created in this table, and if you want to add more field to this table, you have to select a data type for the field. Okay, for that you have to click on the arrow which is being given next to the field name. Okay, and now select a data type from that particular list. Okay, so once again, by following the steps, you have now created a new database with a table named table1. Okay, and by default automatically Microsoft Access will create an ID field in the table. If you want to add more field to the table, you have to select a data type for that particular field. Okay, in order to select a new data type for the field, first you have to click on the arrow which is given next to the field name. Now select a data type that is being given from the list. Okay, you can like text, number, currency, date, time. Okay, so you have to select one data type from that particular list. After selecting a data type from the list, you have to type a new name in the field and press enter key. So students, these are the steps that you have to follow in order to create a new database. Okay, first one is you have to click on the file tab. Second step is you have to click on the new option. Third step is you have to click on the blank database option. Okay, and fourth step is you have to type a name in the file name box, and last step is you have to click on the create button, and now a new database will get created. Okay, and the name for the table is being given as table1, and by default automatically Microsoft Access will create an ID field in the table. Okay, if you want to add more field to the table, you have to select a data type for that particular field. Okay, in order to select a data type for the field, you have to click on the arrow which is present next to the field name. Okay, and now you have to select a data type from that particular list, and at last you have to type a new name in the field and press enter key. Okay, so hope you are now familiar with the steps for creating a new database. And if you want to rename a field, you have to first right click on its name and select the rename field option from the menu. Okay, like what you see in this picture, and you have to type a new name for the field and press enter key. Okay, so in case if you want to rename a field name, you have to first right click on its name and you have to select the rename field option that has been present in the menu. Okay, and you have to type a new name for the field and press enter key. Next, let us see how to save a database. Okay, you have to follow the steps in order to save a database. First, you have to click on the file tab. Okay, second step is you have to click on the save database as option from the menu, and the save as dialog box will appear, and you have to type a name for the database and click on save button. Okay, these are the steps that you have to follow in order to save a database. Step number 1, you have to click on the file tab. Step number 2, click on the save database as option from the menu, and the save as dialog box will appear. Okay, and third step is you have to type a name for the database and click on the save button. Okay, so students, these are the steps that you have to follow in order to save a database. So students, with this I am ending my class today. So in this class we first started studying about chapter number 7, an introduction to Access. First we studied what we mean by a database, the definition for DBMS, advantages of using DBMS, then what we mean by a table. Okay, then we saw how to start Microsoft Access 2010, which are the components of the Access window, data types in Microsoft Access, and then we studied the steps that we have to follow in order to create a new database and how to save a new database. Okay, so these are the topics that we covered today. Thank you.